All right, guys. This is a video to help walk you through the next steps for your guided course project on evaluating the effectiveness of the presidents from George Washington all the way up through James Madison. I know that it's been a while since you guys were doing the historical research. If you weren't here that day of doing the historical research, there's a handout on the desk next to the television, and one of your classmates could help you out as far as determining which one is the correct handout. You might have finished your research, your historical research. We walked through that. Remember, we're trying to determine the extent to which the presidents from 1789 through 1816 effectively dealt with the problems and issues that our country faced. We talked about the things that we needed, the criteria for effective leadership. You wanted to choose two presidents, and then you wanted to research events and issues that happened during their administration. You can use your notes, you can use the textbooks. Remember, if you're using web sources, making sure that they're good quality sources. We did that throughout the unit, making sure, how do we know what's a good source? How do we know that this is credible information? You want to write down the link. You want to put the notes in your own words immediately. And that way you don't have to worry about any sort of plagiarism. We wanted to have a good number of sources, and once you feel like you've done enough research, today's assignment is to start the outline. It's pretty straightforward, but I wanted to walk you through this handout you should get for your from your sub. So this is going to walk you through this handout right here. It's in a little booklet. This will walk you through how to set up your essay and how to go through the outline. So the first page is just this is the structure of your essay. You don't have to worry about doing an essay right now, but you're just doing the outline today. So you want to go all the way down to the sheet that looks like this, and we can walk through the outline. So for your outline, I would have your research notes out, and I would try to do this almost to the T. The great thing about the outlines, they do not have to be in complete sentences. It's just an outline for what you will write. I would also maybe try to do things like Roman numerals. For each one, and Roman numerals, bullet points here, and that way you can come up with a complete outline that will make actually writing your essay a little bit easier. So the first paragraph is your introduction, broad ideas connected to the topic. This is when you want to talk about so big ideas that are dealing with what the country was facing during this time, some of the changes that they were experiencing. You also want to bring in the mention of what you feel like makes a good and effective leader. So that criteria that you set up. You want to come up with a thesis statement. So the thesis statement with 3 parts, and I'll talk about that in a second, but the thesis statement is the position or the argument that you're taking. You want to outline the criteria that you're going to use, and then you want to also talk about the two presidents. You want to mention the 2 presidents that you're going to be evaluating, and you want to take a stance on them. All right. Were they or were they not good leaders or effective leaders, and why not? And so when we come back, I can work with you a little bit more with the thesis statement, but you should have an idea of the direction that you want your paper to go. So paragraph number 2, this is your first body paragraph. This would be the first president that you're going to look at. I would do them individually, so paragraph number 1, this will be the president. President number 1 that you're going to look at. You want to include a topic sentence. So this is part of the thesis. George Washington was an effective leader due to his blank, and then you might make a connection to whatever quality that you feel like he embodies or did not exemplify. You want to come up, based on your historical research, you want to come up with some examples here, right? All right, these are your specific examples. These are the events and issues that dealt directly, that George Washington had to deal directly with during his time as president. Citations, don't worry about that right now. The analysis, all right? The analysis is tricky. Analysis is when you're using the evidence and you're saying, how and why does this evidence that I presented help prove my point that George Washington was a good leader, or how does this prove my point that George Washington was not a good leader and did not embody these qualities of leadership, or how did this evidence, or how did these examples, how do they show or exemplify or illustrate that George Washington did embody those leadership qualities that you had laid out. The third body paragraph, so this would be your second president, right? So whoever the second president is, you want to follow the same sort of format. He could be they could be a good president, they could be a not so good president. Once again, it's up to you. I don't know how you are taking this paper. Just know that paragraph number 3, or your second body paragraph, that's when you're going to outline the extent to which your second president was a quality leader. I want you to go ahead, and because this is going to be our first essay that we write in this class, and because we're just comparing 2 presidents right now, let's go ahead and take out the third body paragraph. You don't have to do that. We have the intro. We have body paragraph number 1. It talks about one president. Body paragraph number 2 talks about the second one. For your conclusion, so you're rephrasing your thesis statement. Once again, you're kind of summing up your paper. And then this part, the final evaluation or judgment. So you want to determine who, out of the 2 presidents that you evaluated, who best exemplified or embodied those leadership qualities that you had laid out, and why. So you want to give a short explanation as to why President A was a better example or symbol of an effective leader according to your criteria than President B. Or vice versa. And then the last thing, just wrap up your conclusion by talking about why this topic is significant, or the impact of evaluating presidents and as effective leaders. Why is that historically significant, or why is that something that's purposeful? Why is something that we should focus on doing, or that it's worth our time doing? I hope that this short little video tutorial has been able to walk you through that outline. The expectation here is that on Thursday, when you come back to class, your research is done and your outline is done. All right, and you can expect another tutorial video that walks you through the next step. If you have any questions, please either shoot me an email, dbeller2@wcpss.net, or shoot me a remind, and I can try to answer you in a timely manner. I'm finishing up grading the presidential triangles. I know that there's a couple of people that have to grade their folders, and I'll get on that. I won't be there on Thursday, but I'll be back next week. And once again, I hope that everything's going well. I always appreciate y'all's work and effort. I think I want to continue to emphasize the fact that you guys have been doing some good quality work. You've been showing a real effort, increase in effort and work ethic. The midterm grades overall were pretty good, and those will be going into the grade book shortly, and I will see you next week. Thanks.